to Clarion India. This is Ghazal Abbas. You often hear word fake news, a trending topic nowadays, and which is largely impacting Indian society. And today with us, Mr. Syed Nazakat, founder of Data Leads, which is one of the leading organizations in the country that is working in data journalism as well as training the young journalists to debunk fake news. So we will talk on various issues regarding to fake news. Thank you so much talking to us, Mr. Nazakat, in this program.
Yeah, pleasure speaking to you. Thanks a lot.
We would like to start that how do you observe the nature of fake news and how it is affecting the country in recent years?
Right. I think it's a huge problem. I think it's one of the biggest problems that editors around the world have identified, that which poses a strong challenge to newsrooms and to editors to run the organizations. Because what's happening is that because of disinformation, because of fake news, the people are losing trust in media, in mainstream media. People are losing trust in journalism writing, and that actually is a death sentence for journalism. And that's why we are seeing globally there is a new awareness in media houses, in newsrooms, among editors, that we need to come together to understand how we can protect ourselves from the mistakes which happen when we are under rush to carry stories, or which happen just because we are not trained to identify what is fake, what is not. We have to also see the challenge, which is a challenge in terms of the changing landscape of media globally, not only in India. There's people are more on digital. There are more people on online, on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook than ever before. The way they consume news is also different than they used to consume news earlier. So people fall prey to information which is available out there without fact check, without traditional way of going through gatekeeping. There's no gatekeepers out there. People post blogs, they put something on Facebook, and then people share it, then people consume it, and they share it to another group. So within a minute or 2 minutes, a video becomes a viral, and people just do not know whether that information is right or wrong.
Okay, you talk about the social medium, which is mainly through which people are spreading fake news without spreading the facts. And you also talk about another important thing, the losing trust in the media. So do you think is the mainstream media at a large section spreading fake news itself?
Yeah, I don't think nobody will like to do it, to be honest, because essentially if you propagate fake news from your platform, you're going to lose readers, you're going to lose trust, you're going to lose revenue. And it may be a short-term gain for some, you can say, new organizations to be in that space. But for established organizations, I don't think they will like to do propaganda, or they will like to do a disinformation campaign, or provide a platform for a disinformation campaign. So I think if you look at a global scene, I don't think the newspapers are doing it deliberately, or traditional organizations are doing it deliberately. But I think somewhere down the line, they are not able to deal with the information outflow which is coming to their platforms. So they're publishing often without fact-checking information. And saying that, but I also agree with this fact that there is change in the media landscape. There are a lot of people coming into the media who really do not belong to media. And they're coming either with political interest or religious interest or market interest. And the whole idea behind doing journalism is a simple business, or simple propagating a particular ideology or point of view. And they're having cases, and we have seen a number of them in India as well, where particular news organizations are often actually spreading the fake news. So I don't think there's any denial on that part. But I think it's very important for media to ensure we protect our credibility, because as a journalist, you lose your credibility only once.
Okay, so is there any connection between the electoral politics and communal polarization to the fake news? Do you see that?
Yeah, there has been a BBC survey recently which talked about it, particularly in India. Nationalism is one of the reasons behind spreading the fake news. But I also think there are a lot of other reasons as well. So we're seeing a lot of, like for example, the lynchings, which actually which was terrible last year, only this year. There are a number of cases in people were lynched, and they were killed for child kidnapping.
Yes.
So that was not a political, that was not a religious, but that is happening. And then we're also seeing a lot of fake news about health. We're seeing a lot of fake news about different communities for that matter. So I think though it may seem like, yeah, it is like a lot of fake news out there. It's political, it's motivated, there's people behind who do it deliberately again and again. But I also think it's a much bigger problem actually. And it is touching different spaces. It's not limited to politics, it's not limited to one particular thing. It's a multi-faced problem we're facing. And I think journalists really need to be aware about that. Like if you just come with a presumption, oh, this one only is the reason for the fake news spreading in India or outside, then that actually leads us to a wrong situation. So we have to agree on this fact that there is disinformation happening there. There is deliberate disinformation happening there. And then we have to deal with it. And it's not limited to the one thing. Maybe the majority of it is related to the politics, but I don't think the politics is the only space where there is a lot of fake news or disinformation.
Okay. The government haven't taken some action. They just told to Facebook and Twitter and WhatsApp to come up with their measures to check the fake news. Is it sufficient, or the government should have taken some other measures on its own to curb the fake news? Because the social media giants, they have also said that it's impossible because there's a huge data.
I think, it's certainly the law and order is the state responsibility. If people are getting killed because of fake news, then certainly it is the responsibility of police and local administration to make sure people are protected. I think that the government can't say, oh, this is such a big problem, we can't do anything about it. I think every state government, because the law and order in India is a state subject, every state government is responsible to ensure that people are not getting killed because of fake news. And I think I don't support the government regulations on the press, but I think at the same time, the press itself has to see whether they are doing enough, whether the mainstream organizations are doing enough, or whether the new digital companies are doing enough to protect their platforms from being used for fake news and disinformation, or whether they are having fact checkers, which used to be because a fundamental part of any editorial team. There used to be a copy editor, there used to be a subs, for example, and there used to be fact checkers earlier as well. It's not something we are having new actually. But because there's a pressure on media organizations, there's a whole change in the market of media. So we're losing those people in the industry. So essentially, there's a one editor, a couple of correspondents, they're not fact checkers in between. So, and that actually is creating a space where traditional organizations also are not doing enough. They're not learning new tools, which are very easy to do. Like it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes to debunk a fake news. Often, like fake images for that matter, just do a reverse Google search. But are journalists doing those in day-to-day work? I would say no, absolutely not. Very few organizations are doing it, and some are now starting off taking it more seriously because they understand the danger of it. And I think that their responsibility is also equally important. And so are the social media companies. So they also have to make sure, like the technology they're using to create communities, to provide beautiful platforms for people to engage, whether those platforms are being properly used or not. If yes, then we're okay with that. We understand, for example, Twitter or Facebook both have deactivated millions of accounts in the last 1 year or 2 years because they have been companies with the fake news. But I think they can certainly do more. They can certainly be more open about it. They can certainly be transparent about it. And they can certainly engage with the mainstream media more often. It's not just when there's a crisis, more often. The Facebook has been there for so long. So they have to really come up and say there is a problem, accept it, and be very transparent what they're doing about it.
How much it is difficult for a common man to identify the fake news if he receives some message or receives some message?
We have seen the country we live in. Unfortunately, there's still millions of people who don't even have a basic literacy. They can't read, they can't write. So it's a big societal issue we're having actually, a big education issue. So people certainly are not aware about it. In old days, people used to say, if they have seen something in newspaper or read something in newspaper, they used to say, oh, it was mentioned in newspaper, and they believed it was right, it's truthful. And they took the social media the same way when the social media came. And then the WhatsApp groups. Every family has their own WhatsApp groups. And people share, forward these videos and messages and all that. And we keep forwarding them because we believe that as a human psyche, we believe whatever we receive is true and it suits our ideology, our mind, and we share it with other people without realizing that, well, this may not be true, this may not be right. And we don't do that actually. So literacy level overall in the country is extremely poor. And that means that even still, I don't know the numbers exactly how much it is, but huge millions of people are still not educated out there, particularly about the information landscape. So I think there's huge space where we really need to make a huge effort, a nationwide effort in years to come to really educate people about the dangers of disinformation, the dangers it poses to the society, and certainly at the same time work in a way that creates more awareness among the people, among the youth, among the older generation about the fake news, because it is extremely harmful for a country's harmony, for a country's growth. It creates sudden disruptions, it creates violence, it creates hatred, and we have to really take it very serious. I don't think it's a very simple media issue. It's really a societal issue. There are different stakeholders. There's a state involved, there's a law enforcement agencies involved, there are media certainly involved. I think educational institutes certainly have to starting some literacy projects in their own curriculums. Because we are changing, everything around us is changing. The whole information landscape is changing. And our students, our kids need to be aware about all that. So they should be aware about cyberbullying, they should be aware about online abuse, they should be aware about digital security, they should be aware about what is fake and what is not fake, what they're consuming on social media. I mean, these are really serious issues.
Yeah, you raised all the important points. My last question to you, how much do you think that what is the need of training young journalists to debunk fake news?
Right.
If you talk about particularly the Indian diaspora and how the data is contributing to this.
Right. No, I think we certainly think that for journalists particularly, we're all journalists, we come from journalism background, we certainly think we have a huge responsibility because people trust us, they read us, they watch us on TV. So I think it's certainly important for us to make sure so whatever news we give as a journalist is truthful, it has been fact-checked, is accurate. And that's a responsibility we have. We can't pass the buck to other people around. So we have to take that responsibility. And at the same time, I think also it's very important for journalists in the changing media landscape that we equip ourselves with new tools and techniques of storytelling, of fact-checking, of data checking. And that's where at Data is we're really keen to make our own contribution in this space. So we've been closely working with a number of partners from the last couple of years on building a community of people in India who understand the data better, who understand the evidence-based reporting better. Mm-hmm. And particularly for the last 6 months, we have been collaborating with Google and News Initiative on a massive training program in India. It is the initiative of Google, supported by and done in collaboration with Internews, Alt News, Boom Live, and it's a beautiful collaboration, beautiful partnership of different people with the same aim and understanding that we need to fight back the wave of disinformation. We need to come together and make sure that our journalists, our reporters, our newsrooms are equipped to identify, to debunk the fake news. And we need to be ready with equipments and with tools and techniques and strategies to ensure that moving ahead, the news platforms are not misused, abused by anyone for that matter. And we need to make sure that we are having we are trust with the people, and we are making all efforts at different levels to protect and safeguard that trust. And that will only happen when we make sure that our platforms are not misused, and we make sure that journalists are able to debunk fake news.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Nazakat, to talk with us and give us time for this interview. So, Mr. Nazakat mentioned various important points associated with fake news and how it is affecting Indian society, and what are the responsibilities of government and the need of making the people aware, especially the responsibility of the media itself for how they can contribute.